The moment I walked into the grand ballroom, the air buzzed with laughter and clinking glasses, but my focus was drawn to her immediately. My wife stood at the center, perfectly dressed, a smirk curling on her lips that made my stomach churn. She noticed me and laughed lightly, yet there was malice behind her eyes. "This party is for my ex," she declared, loud enough for half the room to hear, her words slicing through the air like a knife. I felt every eye on me, some in shock, others curious, as if waiting to see my reaction. My hands clenched at my sides, but I didn't speak, didn't move, silently observing the arrogance she wore like a crown. She thrived in this moment, unaware I had already begun planning my strike. As the night progressed, I watched her glide across the room, charming friends and strangers alike, her laughter echoing in a way that used to be intoxicating, now utterly hollow. I noticed the subtle glances she threw at him, the ex she celebrated with such audacity, every touch, every whispered word, a reminder of betrayal. Guests approached me with awkward smiles, unsure whether to comment or intervene. I remained calm, an observer in the chaos, letting her arrogance inflate like a balloon that would soon burst. I remembered the countless nights of lies, hidden calls, and excuses that masked her infidelity. Each smile she offered him felt like a dagger to the chest I had once entrusted to her. By the time the clock struck 10, I had gathered everything I needed to dismantle her carefully curated image in one unforgettable moment. I approached her slowly, my presence finally noticed, and the smirk faltered for a fraction of a second before she recovered. "Why aren't you dancing?" she asked mockingly, tilting her head, expecting my submission or jealousy. I smiled faintly, letting her arrogance blind her further. With deliberate calm, I reached for my glass, cleared my throat, and caught the attention of the entire room. "It's strange," I began, voice steady, eyes scanning the crowd, "how some people throw lavish parties, celebrate old flames, and lie without consequence. But tonight, perhaps everyone deserves the truth." The murmurs grew, curiosity spreading like wildfire. She felt it, an instinctive fear, but tried to mask it with laughter. I continued, recounting precise details she never thought I knew, every secret text, every hidden rendezvous, ensuring the spotlight would land squarely on her deception. Gasps filled the room as I revealed each lie, each betrayal, my voice unwavering, precise, almost surgical. Friends who had celebrated her began exchanging stunned glances, their trust eroding as they listened. Her hands trembled, the perfect poise slipping with every word I spoke. He, the ex, looked bewildered, caught in the chaos he had never intended to witness. She attempted to interrupt, to justify, but the room had already shifted. The audience, once entertained by her charm, now turned skeptical, judgmental. I paused, letting the weight of her actions sink in, letting everyone see the stark contrast between the smiling facade she wore and the treachery beneath. By the time I finished, the silence was deafening. She realized her world had crumbled, not through shouting, not through revenge, but through undeniable truth exposed in the light of witnesses. She stumbled back, tears welling, her friends whispering behind their hands, some glancing at me with sympathy, others shocked by the audacity of my revelation. I had been quiet, patient, observing her arrogance blossom into the perfect storm for her exposure. My own heart ached, not from malice, but from the betrayal of someone I had loved more than life itself. I wanted her to understand the magnitude of the lies, the erosion of trust, and the irreparable damage caused. The crowd, previously captivated by her charisma, now saw the real her, vain, deceitful, and manipulative. I could see it in her eyes. Panic, regret, humiliation. Every whispered excuse she had ever offered, every alibi constructed to cover her infidelity, now looked ridiculous in the glare of public judgment. She tried to retreat, her smile gone, replaced with a desperate attempt at dignity, but the audience had already turned. Conversations buzzed about her betrayal, her friends avoiding eye contact, and the ex remained awkwardly silent. I realized then the power of truth delivered with patience and precision. It's unstoppable. I didn't shout or fight, I simply exposed reality, letting her own actions narrate her downfall. The party, once a stage for her arrogance, had become a theater of consequences. I felt a mixture of sorrow and vindication, knowing my silence and observation had orchestrated this moment flawlessly. Her world had shattered, her lies now public, her pride obliterated. I stepped back, letting the weight of justice settle, feeling a quiet satisfaction as the whispers followed her retreating figure. When the night ended, I walked out calmly, leaving her behind, shattered and exposed. The room was silent in her absence, everyone processing the spectacle of truth revealed. I didn't gloat. I simply carried the dignity of a man who had been wronged but remained unbroken. Outside, the cool night air embraced me, each breath a reminder of resilience. I realized that the most powerful strikes are often quiet, precise, and undeniable. Her world had collapsed, but mine had transformed. I was free from deception, free from betrayal, free from the weight of her lies. And in that liberation, I discovered strength I never knew I possessed. Sometimes, silence and truth together are enough to shatter even the most arrogant of hearts.